In life, we often face unexpected challenges, painful losses, and difficult departures. But what if these moments are not random? What if they are part of a divine plan, carefully designed for your growth and protection? In this video, we'll explore profound truths about life's struggles, showing how every heartache, betrayal, and unease serves a higher purpose. Through the wisdom of C.S.Lewis, we'll uncover how God guides us through hardship, shaping our destinies in ways we can't yet understand. Stay with us until the end, as we reveal why trusting the process, even in your darkest moments, can lead you to a destiny greater than you ever imagined. Don't miss this powerful journey of faith, wisdom, and divine purpose. Before we start, I'd appreciate your support. If you like the video, please subscribe and hit the bell to stay updated on future lessons from God. This reflects the profound and often perplexing paradox of divine love. The protection and guidance bestowed upon us by the Creator are frequently wrapped in forms so bewildering that our hearts, full of confusion and sorrow, struggle to comprehend them. One of these forms arises when people leave their lives without any explanation. Have you ever experienced the heart-wrenching grief of someone walking out unexpectedly? The pain of their absence feels like a raw, fresh wound, one that leaves you helplessly replaying every shared moment, hoping, longing for an answer to the unspoken question. Why? Yet, what if their departure, however painful, is not an act of abandonment, but rather a divine intervention, designed by God in His boundless wisdom? We are often blinded by our limited understanding, unable to see what lies beneath the surface. The hidden motives, the silent dangers, the unseen consequences that their continued presence might bring into our lives. What we perceive as loss may be God's protection, a merciful shield from forces that would harm us in ways we cannot even fathom. In Genesis 19, we find the tragic story of Lot's wife, who, when warned by God to flee from the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, looked back at the very things that God had removed from her life. In a heartbreaking moment, she turned into a pillar of salt, a stark and haunting symbol of what happens when we cling to the past, to what is meant to be left behind. This tale is a powerful warning against holding on to what God has taken away. When someone exits your life suddenly, trust in the fact that it is, perhaps unknowingly to you, for your protection and spiritual growth. As C.S. Lewis beautifully wrote in Mere Christianity, relying on God has to begin all over again every day as if nothing had yet been done. Let their departure be an invitation to deepen your trust in the grand, unfolding plan that only God can see in its entirety. Let it be a chance to learn, to grow, and to lean further into His care and wisdom. Another form of divine love's protection unfolds when people's true nature is revealed, often in painful and heartbreaking ways. There are times when someone's betrayal, deceit, or sudden and inexplicable change in behavior leaves you feeling shattered, blindsided, and irrevocably broken. The sting of such moments can cut deep, but they are not tragedies in themselves. They are moments of revelation, moments of clarity, moments when God, in His infinite mercy, pulls back the veil to expose the truth. Jeremiah 17 verse 9 warns, "The heart is deceitful above all things and beyond cure. Who can understand it? I the Lord search the heart and examine the mind." In His perfect wisdom, God sees the truth of our hearts and the hearts of those around us, and sometimes He allows the truth to be revealed, not as a punishment, but as a form of divine protection. Just as Judas Iscariot's betrayal played an essential role in fulfilling God's ultimate plan for salvation, so too does the exposure of someone's harmful intentions in your life serve to remove a stumbling block, even if that truth comes at great personal cost. C.S. Lewis also reflected, "Hardship often prepares an ordinary person for an extraordinary destiny. The mask slipping, revealing someone's true face, is not a reflection of your failure to see the truth sooner. It is God's mercy at work, guiding you, protecting you, and leading you away from the chains that once held you, toward freedom, healing, and peace." 3. When you feel an unexplainable unease. Have you ever found yourself in the presence of certain people, in seemingly ordinary situations, and suddenly felt an overwhelming sense of discomfort that you couldn't shake? It's a strange, almost unidentifiable feeling, like something deep inside you knows that something is just not right, even though everything around you seems fine on the surface. It's an unsettling, almost eerie sensation, a gentle tug at your spirit, an intuitive warning that something is off, yet you can't quite put your finger on why. That sense of unease is not just a random emotional response or an anxious thought. More often than not, it is a divine nudge, a whisper from God Himself, calling your attention to hidden dangers that your eyes cannot see. In these moments, It's as if God is gently pulling back the curtain of the unknown, offering you a glimpse into something your physical senses cannot perceive. In 1 John 4, the Bible advises, "Test the spirits to see whether they are from God." This is a profound call to exercise spiritual discernment, even when someone appears friendly, warm, or trustworthy. God is urging you to trust not just what you see, but what your heart feels, to listen to those quiet stirrings within you. The Holy Spirit, described in John 14 as our helper and comforter, often speaks to us in subtle ways, through a sense of discomfort, through a feeling that something isn't aligning right. When you experience this unease, it's not a sign of weakness, but of spiritual alertness. Don't dismiss it as mere nervousness or anxiety. It's God's way of alerting you to a possible threat, whether physical, emotional, or spiritual, that might not be visible to the naked eye. In these moments, take a step back, breathe deeply, and pray for clarity. Ask God to reveal the reasons behind your discomfort and to guide you through the situation with wisdom. Trust that God's whispers are meant to protect you, to shield you from potential harm or heartbreak. His guidance, though often quiet, is always rooted in love and care. And when you heed His voice, when you follow that divine direction, you may just find that what seemed like a fleeting moment of discomfort was a life-saving intervention, a reminder that God is watching over you, always. Fourth, when others resist your growth. True friends, the ones who have a heart for your well-being, should be the ones who celebrate your victories, cheer for your success, and encourage you to continue growing and evolving into the person you are meant to be. Yet, how many times have you encountered people who, instead of lifting you, seem to subtly resist your progress, downplaying your achievements, or even discouraging you from pursuing your dreams? It's not always a confrontation or harsh words. It's often a quiet, almost imperceptible form of resistance that wears on you over time. These are the people who, whether knowingly or unknowingly, diminish your accomplishments, create doubts in your mind, or hold you back from reaching your full potential. It's a subtle form of negativity that can chip away at your confidence, your sense of purpose, and your drive. In Ecclesiastes 4, the Bible speaks of the value of strong, supportive relationships. Two are better than one because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls, one can help the other up. These words echo the truth that in a true partnership, there is strength and mutual encouragement. True friends should celebrate each other's victories and be the ones who help you rise when you stumble. However, when someone consistently opposes your progress, it's a sign that something in the dynamic is not aligned with God's will for your life. Perhaps this person, for whatever reason, is not meant to walk with you on your journey anymore, or maybe their influence is no longer healthy for your spiritual and emotional well-being. God, in His infinite wisdom, may allow this surface resistance not as a punishment, but as a wake-up call, an opportunity to see the truth of the situation. Just as a gardener prunes away the dead branches and weeds that threaten the growth of a plant, so too does God lovingly prune the relationships in our lives that hinder our progress. He creates space for new growth, new opportunities, and deeper, more meaningful connections. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment number 1 below to let me know that you are still watching this video with me. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. God is not taking something away from you to harm you. He is removing what prevents you from flourishing into the person you were created to be. It's in those moments of resistance that you may realize that, much like a tree being shaped and pruned for greater fruitfulness, you are being prepared for something more. You are being refined, strengthened, and purified for the extraordinary purpose that lies ahead. The resistance you face is not a sign of failure, but a sign of God's loving intervention, leading you away from what is toxic and guiding you toward what will help you thrive. Trust that God's timing is always perfect, and He will provide the right people at the right time. People who will uplift you, encourage you, and walk alongside you in faith. 5. When their departure brings peace. In the beginning, losing someone, whether a friend, a partner, or a family member, may feel like an emotional earthquake, shaking you to the core and shattering everything you thought was stable. It is a raw, agonizing experience that leaves you feeling hollow and broken. The pain might feel unbearable, as if every part of your heart and soul is being torn apart, leaving you gasping for air in a world that suddenly feels alien. Your mind races, replaying every word, every moment, every gesture, searching desperately for answers to the why and how of it all. Why did they leave? What could you have done differently to make things work? Why does it feel like your world has been turned upside down? Yet, in the aftermath of the storm, as time passes and the fog of grief begins to lift, something begins to shift within you. It's subtle at first, almost imperceptible, but over time, you start to notice a sense of calm that begins to settle deep within you. It's not a peace that can be explained or understood by logic or reason, for it surpasses all human understanding. It's a divine peace, a quiet reassurance from God that, though this loss may have left a gaping hole in your heart, it is ultimately for your protection. God, in His infinite wisdom, sees far beyond the present moment and the temporary pain you are experiencing. He knows what lies ahead, and He is orchestrating a greater plan, one that includes your well-being, your growth, and your ultimate healing. Philippians 4 promises us that the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. This peace is not something that can be found in the circumstances or in the people who have left you. It is a peace that flows from the very presence of God Himself, a peace that transcends all earthly troubles and trials. It is a peace that guards your heart from the bitterness and anger that often accompany loss. This peace, though it doesn't erase the pain or the questions, offers a kind of balm to your wounded soul. It is a reminder that God is still in control, that He has not abandoned you, and that He is with you, even in the midst of your pain. C.S. Lewis, in his profound wisdom, likens God's work in our lives to the process of renovating a house. Imagine that you are a living, breathing house, and God comes in to rebuild you from the inside out. At first, the changes He makes might seem logical and necessary. But then, suddenly, He begins to knock down walls, tear up the foundation, and rearrange the very structure of your life in ways that you cannot comprehend. It feels like destruction rather than construction. It hurts, it feels chaotic, and you might wonder if He has made a mistake in the process. But this pain is not pointless. It is purposeful. God is not destroying you. He is rebuilding you into something more beautiful, something stronger, something more aligned with His will for your life. It is a painful, yet necessary process of transformation, one that requires trust in God's perfect timing and His perfect plan for your future. Just as a builder knows that the demolition of old, crumbling walls is essential to the creation of a better home, so too does God know that the painful removal of certain people, situations, or circumstances is necessary for your spiritual growth and healing. The divine tapestry of your life is being woven with the utmost care, even when it seems that the threads are tangled or broken beyond repair. Every loss, every rejection, every betrayal, and every moment of suffering is part of a greater design, a design that only God can fully comprehend. You may not see how these individual threads fit together in the grand picture, but God sees the result. Romans 8 verse 28 reassures us with this promise. And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. This verse does not say that all things are good. It acknowledges that life is filled with pain, struggle, and heartache. But it promises that, even amid those things, God is working for your good. He is taking every hurt, every disappointment, and every hardship, and He is weaving them into a beautiful story of redemption, healing, and purpose. You may not see the good in the moment, but trust that God is at work, even when the situation seems hopeless. Can you trust the process? Can you surrender your understanding and allow God to guide you through the pain, knowing that His ways are higher than yours? Can you trust that, even amid loss, God is working on your behalf? It's a question that requires deep faith and surrender, for it is not easy to let go of what we thought we wanted or needed. It is painful to watch someone leave your life, especially when you don't understand why. But it is in those moments of loss that God calls you to a deeper level of trust. It is in those moments that He invites you to believe that, although you cannot see the full picture, He sees it all and He knows what is best for you. Isaiah 55 verse 9 reminds us, "As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways." God's understanding far surpasses our own. His perspective is eternal, while ours is limited. He sees the beginning from the end, and He knows what is best for us, even when we cannot see it ourselves. It is in trusting God's ways, even when they don't make sense, that we find peace that transcends understanding. We can rest in the knowledge that God is not only aware of our pain but is also using it to shape us, to grow us, and to lead us toward something far greater than we could have ever imagined. So, amid your pain, your loss, and your heartache, take comfort in knowing that God is at work. Trust His process. Surrender to His will. And remember, though it may hurt now, there is peace on the other side of the pain. Peace that will guard your heart, peace that will heal your soul, and peace that will lead you into the future He has prepared for you. As we wrap up today's discussion, take a moment to reflect on what we've learned together. We've explored how divine protection and guidance often come in unexpected forms, through departures, revelations, unease, and even resistance. We've seen how these moments, though painful, are part of a greater design crafted by God to shape us into stronger, wiser individuals. Now, I want to hear from you. What is one thing you've learned from today's video that you plan to bring into practice in your life? Share it in the comments below. If you found this video helpful, please leave your comment below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more inspiring content. Thank you for being a part of this journey with us, and I look forward to reading your thoughts. See you in the next video.